Now, a big update amid the ongoing Iran-Israel war. The United States is shifting military resources, including their ships, in West Asia in response to Israel's strike on Iran and a possible retaliatory attack coming in by Tehran. Two U.S. officials have said this on Friday. U.S. Navy, in fact, has deployed its warships in Red Sea and Mediterranean Sea to help Israel. Is also expected to jump directly into the war in the coming days. Bring you the details with regards to the warships that have been deployed by the US. First up is USS Thomas Hudner, or DDG-116. This is basically a state-of-the-art guided missile destroyer. It has been sent to the eastern Mediterranean to keep Israel safe. 8 more US destroyer ships are already deployed. These ships are already active in the 5th Fleet, Red Sea, Persian Gulf region and 6th Fleet of Mediterranean Sea. Their job will be to intercept enemy missiles, providing air defense and also creating strategic pressure. Then let's also speak about USS Carl Vinson Carrier Strike Group, or CSG. It is deployed under Central Command, CENTCOM, which conducts US military operations in West Asia. This warship is the closest to provide immediate help in the defense of Israel. Then comes USS Nimitz Carrier Strike Group, or CSG. It is currently deployed in the Indo-Pacific region. If tensions escalate further, it could be deployed to West Asia. Tensions are only soaring in the West Asia as Iran declared that talks with the United States over its nuclear program are now meaningless following what it calls the biggest ever Israeli military strike on its soil. In fact, Tehran is blaming Israel and also blaming US, siding with them. Iran's foreign ministry has also said that. In the latest development, we have been given to understand that Iran has halted all the negotiations over the nuclear weaponization. Iran is blaming US, said that they enabled this attack. They have halted nuke dialogue after strike that transpired on their soil. This is the big development coming in as the tensions are only escalating in West Asia, as Iran has now declared that the talks with the United States over the nuclear program are now quote-unquote meaningless, following what it calls the biggest ever Israeli military strike on its soil. Iran's foreign ministry has accused the US of supporting and also enabling this attack, saying Washington cannot claim to be pursuing diplomacy while allowing Israel to target Iranian territory. In fact, in a very sharp statement quoted by Iran's semi-official Tasnim news agency, Foreign Ministry spokesperson Ismail Baghei said the other side acted in a way that makes dialogue now meaningless. He further alleged that Israel's assault would not have been possible without US's approval and support, and that Tel Aviv had influenced the diplomatic process. The remarks come just days before the scheduled 6th round of US-Iran nuclear talks in Muscat, raising some serious doubts about whether those discussions will now proceed or not. Iran continues to insist its uranium enrichment program is strictly for civilian use, rejecting Israel's long-standing claims that Tehran is developing nuclear weapons in secret. In New York, the US denied complicity and told Iran at the United Nations Security Council that returning to talks would be the quote-unquote wise path forward. Meanwhile, US President Donald Trump, speaking to Reuters, acknowledged that Washington knew in advance about the Israeli strikes, but said his administration still believes a nuclear accord with Iran is possible. In fact, with diplomatic efforts under strain and military tensions running high, the road to de-escalation now appears more uncertain than ever. After Israel's massive aerial assault on Iran on Friday, two of Tehran's most capable allies, Hezbollah and the Houthis, are most likely to accompany Iran in the retaliatory strikes. However, analysts say the network of armed groups so carefully funded and built by Iran has been terribly weakened by a series of disruptions in the recent years. Hezbollah's command structure is incapacitated, a result of cumulative Israeli airstrikes targeting leadership and also weapons caches over recent years. Covert Israeli operations across Syria have also disrupted supply routes and struck Iranian-linked commanders, further suppressing the group's readiness. Bombing of the Gaza Strip have also killed most of Hezbollah's senior leadership. In fact, in September 2024, Israel intensified the response with the coordinated explosions of pagers belonging to leaders and in fact leading Hezbollah figures. A month later, Israel began an invasion of southern Lebanon and a ceasefire agreement was then negotiated that November itself. Meanwhile, Yemen's Houthis have also refrained from carrying out fresh attacks on Israel. Their pushback comes despite previous missile and drone strikes aimed at Israeli targets. In fact, in May, they successfully hit near Ben Gurion airport with a ballistic missile, though without causing significant damage. Israel responded with a naval strike on Hodeidah port. It is also speculated that the fall of Assad's government, as well as the 2020's assassination of Major General Qasem Soleimani of Iran by the United States, widely considered the leader of the network, has faced major disruptions. Israel, a very key military superpower in the region due to military support from the Western world, especially the United States, has long been at conflict with its neighbor over land disputes as well as over the treatment of Palestinians too. So after Israel's massive aerial assault against Iran, which was launched on Friday, two of Iran's most capable allies, Hezbollah and Houthis, are most likely to accompany the strikes coming in from Iran in retaliation. However, the analysts say the network of the armed group, so carefully funded and built by Iran, has now been terribly weakened by a series of disruptions in the recent years.